And welcome back to the Airshow Lounge podcast. This is episode 14 of the podcast. And today we are previewing what is probably the biggest military airshow in the world. And it is in the UK. At Fairford, it is RIAT. My name is Dan, and joining me today is
Jack
and Matt.
And we are here. It's, as of recording, Tuesday night. Tomorrow is the first arrivals day. 2 arrivals days, 2 rehearsals days. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the weather's looking okay. Touch wood. How we all feeling? How we all feeling?
I can't believe it's here. You know, we've been doing this podcast since, was it sort of January, February time, and you know
Yes.
we've been talking about the biggest military air show in the world, and now it's on the doorstep. You know, I think we've got our own chats, and I think everyone has just clicked and gone, it's RIAT week.
It's sort of, I don't know for you guys, it's just sort of crept up and suddenly it's here.
100%. I think this entire year's gone by too quick, to be fair. So it doesn't surprise me that this RIAT week's come around. I'm not complaining at all, but
I think it's been a really nice lead up to RIAT as well, especially looking at, air shows that have already happened this year, and it always kind of falls nicely into RIAT. The only issue that I feel with RIAT, and it's nothing to do with RIAT, is once you've had it, everything kind of peters off.
Yeah, it feels like the big crescendo, isn't it, for the sort of airshow season? It's kind of weird because it's sort of in the middle of the airshow season anyway. But it is sort of, once that's over, it's sort of like, there's a few that are sort of dotted about. But I mean, then again, though, right? We talk about airshows and stuff. Have we seen what Bournemouth have got for their flying display? Some Swedish historics.
I'm really upset I can't go to that. I appreciate it. I think they're only flying on the weekdays, but I'm glad I can't go to Bournemouth that weekend because I'm away, unfortunately. But looking really good.
I know. So I guess we're saying it's peter off, but there are still good things to come. Anyway, we are going to start the RIAT preview, and unfortunately, as things go and it's a military air show, we have had some cancellations. We've said quite a lot in the couple of episodes that we've done quite well, but unfortunately, we have had some cancellations, and RIAT have not actually publicly stated these in any official post, but they have updated their website. So we thought it'd be fair if any of you guys have not heard them, we're going to bring them to you now. So I'm going to go very quickly over them, and then we're going to go into the really cool stuff and everything that's coming. So to start off with, the Portuguese Air Force have cancelled, so their KC-390 and their 2 F-16s will not be turning up. The Mako F-16s from Florida of the US Air Force will not be making the journey over the Atlantic. And due to the unfortunate crash in Poland just at the weekend just gone, the Polish F-16, both the static, the flying, and the C-130 that was supporting will not be turning up. I think they were all the cancellations prior to the previous update. So we have lost, unfortunately, quite a good chunk, 5 F-16s from the static plus a flying F-16. It'd be nice to see them turn up. I know we've had conversations that, it's a shame that the Mako F-16 is not going to turn up, but they're only coming for 4 days and they've got across the Atlantic twice. So do you blame them?
I think this isn't 100% correct as well, and I'm kind of making an assumption, but the KC-10 was positioned in place earlier this week, which was obviously going to be dragging the F-16s over. But I believe it went tech when it went to Pease. When it went to Pease, they then sent it back to Travis. So I wonder if that had something to do with it, because the Makos were rumoured to come over Monday this week.
Right, okay, so maybe it's something to do with that, and then just not knowing whether or not they get the KC-10 across, it's not worth planning it all. Fair enough. But yeah, no, it is a shame that all these things have happened, but I want to just tell you them all, get them out of the way. Let's talk about the good things. I mean, where do we start? Do we want to start with the flying display? Let's start with the flying display.
I think quickly, just touch on last week's announcement.
Oh, yeah, we haven't even probably talked about that. I mean, what was last week's announcement? I can't even remember.
We had 3 KF-4s.
We did. So, last week's announcement, we had the Greeks suddenly turn up nowhere with having Greek KF-4s. So now we have potentially 4 on the static line. and hopefully not parked too uncomfortably close next to each other. Um, we'll see where they park them. I assume it may be opposite ends of the airfield, but we've got the Royal Navy will be bringing another one of their Wildcats, but in sort of weapons sort of system things, so with quite a few what seem to be torpedoes or missiles on them. The United States are bringing two more F-16s, so we've lost two, but we are gaining two. So we're gaining two from Spangdahlem in Germany, and also coming across from Germany as well from Ramstein is one of their C-130s as well. So very, very good.
I'm
Well,
hoping, I'm hoping it's the painted one just to mark D-Day 80.
you'd like to have think, or like to have thought, sorry, that RIAT would have gone, hey, you've got that like D-Day striped T130. Can we like have it and so we can park it next to like one of our Dakotas that we could have come in? I don't know. I
Oh,
just think that's something that maybe we could do.
That'd be a
One
nice.
last,
stop
That'd be
putting
nice.
yeah.
stop putting naughty images in my brain.
One last thing as well. It's not necessarily more aircraft being added, but the Finnish Hawks, instead of bringing their normal sort of smoke winder under the wing Mark 66 Hawks, they'll be bringing their older Swiss Mark 51, which are in a white and red scheme, which are apparently very rare. So I assume that's been done specially for RIAT as well, which is
Uh,
just
Other way around. Mark 51s with the smoke winders, then Mark 66 are the old Swiss
there's
ones.
too many numbers. But yeah,
I know,
there you go. Thank
but
you.
I think they're in a different, completely different scheme, aren't they? Though they're not in the standard grey. I think
Yes,
they're
they're
in the
red
the
and white,
red,
aren't they?
white with a
Yeah.
bit of blue, maybe. So
Yeah, so it's
be interesting to see.
different. Yeah, it's different,
Mm.
isn't it? I mean, we've seen they've come across before. They've come across when they brought the Solo as well. It's been in the grey sort of scheme with that sort of tail. But now we've got this sort of different colours. I mean, it's gonna be cool. I guess different without smoke winders, as much as I'll do like Hawks to some smoke winders underneath. But so yeah, great sort of update, sort of end off what has been a set of just constant. I mean, let's be real. I mean, take some time to this. Every single update this year, bar maybe one or two, has been outstanding, and that is testament to when we start going through um the static line in a bit, not just the flying display, and we start going, oh my god, I forgot that's come. Um, but yeah, like the honestly, the updates this year have been so good, and everything sort of churning along, and there's always been a standout item in every single update, basically. So well done to the team at DBH for um sort of having that organised.
I think
I'd
one
like,
thing from this last update as well is the links H7 from historic helicopters, which will be used as the aerial photo platform. So
Yes,
expect to see that up and down the crowd line and around the static and getting those aerial images you see for the promo stuff. But again, the airframe that we don't really see. Yes, we've got the Wildcat, which is the sort of successor to the Lynx, but a Lynx is a Lynx, isn't it? So
I'd
nice
like
to
to,
see.
I'd like to say as well. I think we when we had our mini break, we obviously there was quite a long period where I think we had, was it 4 updates in a row where it was just statics.
I think so. Yeah,
And at that point I thought, okay, is this, they really need to pull something out here, because it just seemed that the flying was all sort of becoming very quiet and things like that. But since then, I think some of the updates that they've had, especially for me, and I'm gutted I'm not there on the Friday, but the fact they got a U2 doing some stuff, I think is just
That's
one of
huge.
those amazing catches.
I mean, well, we've been told it's going to do a takeoff and landing, but as of this week, it's been doing circuits at Fairford, which it basically never does. So are we going to get a few circuits from it? We're going to get some maybe like go arounds, maybe.
Or
Um,
was it saying that they're gonna do like in quotations a quick climb?
I can't remember what the update said. I
Because
know we're going to get a takeoff, and then let me go
I
have a
know
look.
with the U2, because of how big its wingspan, it's a glider with an engine, isn't it?
It
Basically,
is, yeah.
it once it gets up and that nose starts to climb, it doesn't want to do anything but climb.
I can't find anything on it. I'm frantically scrolling through updates.
I think it just says launching and recovering an aircraft as part of our flying display program. So
Yeah, that's
I'm
all it
looking.
says.
I'm looking forward to seeing like video footage of the pogos bouncing down the runway and stuff.
Wait, what? Yeah, what set of videos that going to be? By the way, if any of you in the free at grandstand, being able to watch the chase cars chase it down the runway as well. That's like photos and stuff of that. They're the photos that will be basically never ever seen from that sort of angle of the sort of looking down onto it in a sense. So brilliant to see that they are doing that. I think definitely one of the highlights. So as soon as we're talking about flying display, I mean, start chucking some of your standout items. I mean, I'll chuck one of mine. For me, I haven't seen it in a while. It's the Solo Turk. One of the brilliant F-16 demos in Europe, and we haven't seen it at RIAT since their little oopsie in 2018. They're back for the F-16 anniversary, and hopefully as good as they were previous.
I think for me, one of the ones my highlights are going to be the Spanish Navy Harrier. Really enjoyed it last year, and again, it's really one of those airframes you don't really get to see all too often. With only a few operators around the world still using them, and the way they fly is brilliant, and it's that proper hovering, not the computer control one the F-35 does. However impressive that is.
For me,
Let me
F-15.
guess, is it the F-15?
So the F-15 is going to be one of my standouts, but also I think I'm just looking forward to the vast array of F-16s that are going to be flying.
Yeah, it's honestly, I think I worked it out. I think we've got 13 fast jet displays this year, minus in the Polish F-16, which is just insane. I mean, there are things on there that like normally when you sort of look at the flying display, you go, they would be standout items. Like the Spanish Harrier is almost like trounced out by Canadian CF-18, the F-15, like the U2. That the Spanish Harrier, the fact that we get that so many years, what we've had it, what 3 out of 4 Riats now, is it? Is it
Something
something
like that.
stupid like that? That's insane that that's now a Riat regular. A Harrier is back again, a Riat regular.
I
Um,
remember when they came in 2019, and
yes,
it was like, oh my god, there is a Harrier here. Like we haven't seen one of these in the UK for
yeah.
10 years. Like, oh my god, this is probably the last time we're going to be saying that. 5 years later, we're still going. Is this going to be the last time that we're going to see a Harrier?
We've had it what last year, this year. The only year they skipped was 2022. We're back with the Harrier again. Um, what else for the flying display? I mean, chuck some things at me, guys. Like,
I've got the Chinook roll demo down. I'm excited to see that. I heard good things about it from Cosford. Uh, Excited to sort of see what they're going to do at RIAT. That'd be interesting.
I
Do you
wonder whether or
know?
not it'll be the wide one with the extra conformal fuel tanks that they had at Cosford, or
I
whether or
do
not
hope
it's
so.
going to be just a normal sort of less bulky one.
I was I was just having a look. I'm looking through the list now, and something that I completely forgot that's coming, and I'm going to relate it to a static as well. Is we've got Patrui Swiss coming.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
And at the same time, the Spanish are sending an SF5M, as a
yes,
static.
yeah.
So it's going to be really nice to see some F5s.
Honestly, it is insane that the sort of the Patrouille Swiss, which could probably be a star item, again is pushed away. We've got the new German Typhoon, or sorry, the Eurofighter demo because we can't call it Typhoon. The A400 again, young A400 demos.
I forgot the
The
Typhoon was coming actually from Germany for the flying display.
yeah, but apparently it's actually meant to be quite different to the Italians and the RAF one. Apparently, it's meant to be basically always pulling high G. It's a very tight sort of display box they've given themselves, and apparently it's basically never not pulling more than, or well, less than 3G. Apparently, in most of its display, which is insane, by the way, for the pilot if that's true. Um, which is really cool. The Spartan's
So,
back, the Italian Spartan after a hiatus last year.
what, Mister?
Big,
I can't be a fighter pilot.
yeah, I can't be a final pilot, but I'll do it in a transport anyway. So it's
I
Do you
think
know?
I've got on
I,
my static list. I've got a few other ones. I think maybe they were sort of hyped up quite a bit when they were announced, but maybe the other recent static ones have sort of gone a bit on the radar. But the Elise and the Firecat, I think they're two I'm looking forward to trying to scope out in the static park at the weekend.
I
That,
forgot the
that,
Firecat was coming. I genuinely,
that-
until the other day, forgot it was coming, and then I checked. I was like, "Wow, it's that's coming!" Like, there's so many things that have just slipped under the radar. Like,
some- something for
go on.
me, you know I love fast jets and stuff, but the Lithuanians are sending a Miller Mi-8 hip.
Yeah, what a rarity! Like, we haven't had a Lithuanian version since 2007, 2004, something like that.
Something
It was
like that.
ages ago.
I think I read on the forums it started its journey across as well, so it's definitely hopefully on the way.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, touch wood.
Yeah,
Obviously, all that.
something that I'd like to say, it's very common. We all know it, we all see it, we all love it. But at the minute, if you do look at the RAF assets, we've still got the Lancaster coming at the minute.
As of currently, has it been airborne though? That's my question, and we're so close to RIAT.
They
I heard
hadn't been airborne, but
it's
they
been
had the
ground running.
Dakota, and they had the Dakota back as well. The one from Aero Legends the other day, doing like crew training, I believe. They were doing like circuits for hours.
I wonder. I'm still a little bit skeptical as to whether it will come or not. But at the same time, I'm thinking to myself, if they can get it airborne but it hasn't passed its PDA, will they still send it for static?
Oh, if
Well,
we
it,
could get it on
well,
static, that'd be brilliant.
well, it can do fly paths without a PDA.
It
It's
could,
just if it
yeah.
Oh,
has
okay.
to do. It's just if it's doing like an aerobatic type routine as a Lancaster display. I believe that's when it needs its PDA. But if it's just taken past and fly past, like the BBMF do fly past way before
Yeah.
their PDA day. But again, to be fair, I think I'd be happy with it on static as well, because you get so used to seeing it in the air. But when do you ever get the chance to really get like
Up close,
up
yeah.
close to it? Unless you go and do one of the very amazing BBMF tours, which I also highly recommend.
I mean, I'm gonna go to statics now. There's still some things in the flying display. Touch wood. I mean, I'm gonna say it, and I'm sorry. I do apologise if suddenly tomorrow this is what is on the cancelled list. But the NATO E3 still is here. Don't kill me,
It's
please.
been flying quite a lot, so it's got a chance.
Well, there's one airborne at the moment, isn't there? We were saying
There
that
is.
before we came on. There's one airborne. So please don't break it. um, yeah. But it's
Nice
still
to
coming.
see one actually on. I don't think maybe I haven't seen one. I'm trying to think now.
I want it parked next to the rivet joint if they can.
That would be cool. That would be
That'd
very
be
cool.
like ideal if they could park it next to the rivet joint. You know, two of your sort of early warning, sort of your radar aircraft would be really cool to have them next to each other. Though I probably suspect that armed presence around the rivet joint will probably be quite high, with them being US Air Force and also quite sensitive. Uh, so we'll see what happens there.
I'm just
I think
looking
one.
through this. Uh,
Yeah, I'm
we've
looking
got.
at the list as well.
I can't.
It's incredible.
The fact I'll touch on it. We've still got the F-16 line, and I still pinch myself that we've got Moroccan F-16s coming.
Yes.
Moroccan F-16s, Romanian F-16s, Jordanian F-16s. What?
And they're all different blocks as well. You got 50s,
Yes.
52s, and as Jeremy or Doc would say, he doesn't like the ones with the CFTs on the top, but they just look so like badass.
Yeah, they do. They look mean, don't they? With obviously, even though we've had cancellations with the F-16 line, we've still got 16 F-16s. Which, as much as that doesn't sound as impressive as like the 21 we had, I don't think anyone will fathom how many 16 F-16s are until you are there. Like, I saw a picture the other day of like 17 fighter jets next to each other. I think it was a shot from um, the Tiger meet this year, and there was 17 jets in a row. And I gone, that's insane. That's basically what we are going to get a RIAT. And you do have to remember from from the podcast that happened on the UK Airshow Review, which is another airshow podcast. They had an interview with Peter Rioch, and they talked about that apparently the display F-16s and spares, they're going to try and park the F-16 line up to the fence where the display jets are, and then they're going to then park the display jets on the end of the line to increase its size. So if we get, obviously, Solo Turk may bring one and a spare, we may get the Danish may bring one and a spare. That's potentially another 4 added on, um, which it would take us back up to 20. So again, that race platform is going to be something for everyone to get your photos from, and because you're going to need the race platform.
I know we mentioned it last time on the last episode, but I'm still trying to get my head around how this static park is going to potentially look. I physically can't in my mind like comprehend 16 F-15s parked wingtip to wingtip. I can't imagine 5 C-17s there. It just
Yeah,
doesn't fit in my head.
no, it is
I
quite
trust the
insane.
I trust the process, and I can't wait to drive in on Sunday morning and just see them all. I can't wait.
I can't believe how many F-15s we've got coming. You know,
I'm waiting for that one.
I was about to say, I was waiting.
we've got. Is it you got two? You're gonna have two that are going airborne, or three? You got. Is it you got a Qatari one going on static? You got Saudi on static. You've got two E models. I mean, someone's gonna have to like drag me away on Sunday evening and be like, "You can no longer look at these because I'm gonna be." Oh, yeah.
You're gonna be dragging the scream. You're gonna be dragged, kicking and screaming, aren't you, from the static park at 7 p.m. on?
If like if you see like a load of police officers around a gathering near an F-15, you know that I'm probably at the center of it.
If you just see someone tied to one of the wheels of the F-16, sorry, F-15, sorry, underneath one of the
Yes,
US
F-15.
ones. Sorry, one of the F-15s. Just see someone attached to it, just like in a bear hug. That's Jack. Just go and say hi to him, and then walk off
Yeah.
because he's not going to be moving anywhere.
No, I'm next trip, warmer climates.
No. In all honesty, though, you were saying. I think you mentioned it on the previous podcast, didn't you? That we've obviously had the F-15 anniversary was a couple of years ago, wasn't it? I think it was 2022, and
Yeah.
it almost feels like this is justice. I mean, well, we've got are they the sole 3 operators of F-15s? Qatar, Saudi, US? They are,
No,
aren't
you
they?
got you got the
Oh,
Japanese.
the Japanese. Yeah, sorry, yeah. So we've got what
So
three quarters of the F-15 operators at RIAT, which is
yeah, so funny story actually. I was talking to a guy who was an ex Reaper. This was I think it was like 2017 while I was still sort of like getting to know stuff. And we were talking. He went, "Yeah, there's only 3 operators of the F-15," and I was like, he was like, "Yeah, the Americans, the Qataris, and the Saudis." And I went, "What about the Japanese?" He goes, "Yeah, that's embarrassing that I didn't know that about our own airframe." That's the reason why I always remember Japan.
that's fair. You forget about them because they're sort of out the way, aren't they? So, but no, I look the fact that we've got 3 operators, one in the flying display. Uh, it is fair play to RIAT and the team. Like I said, every week's had something new. Um, I'm,
If we
I'm
go
looking.
back, sorry, I just realised. Go back to the U2 for 2 seconds. I've just realised on the website the static airframe is, I think, going to be different to the
Yes,
flying one.
yes.
So
Apparently,
I wonder what type of, I say, loadout. Because obviously, I don't think they have too many. You can't have too many U2s at Fairford, surely, can they?
do they have 2? I think. I
No, I
think it's
think
both the ones at Fairford.
because they've got one with like the big reconnaissance hump on the back, and then they got like
They do, yeah.
A clean one.
a clean one.
I wonder which one are we going to get? That's the
I
question.
I would. I mean, the one that was flying around today in the circuit was the one with the big rate with the big thing on the back of it.
I'm not gonna lie. Would not having that one as the flying display one would be the cool part as well because again it's something different, isn't it? So fair play to
Yeah,
them.
it's different to what we're used to for sure. I mean,
All right, go on.
I'm just gonna go back to the F-15 that's flying just really quickly.
Of course you are.
But how good do the images look of it at the minute with it loaded with 12 AIM 120s?
I mean, even going over me at 10,000 foot yesterday, it looked impressive. So,
Lake and Heath when?
Oh, you hope that they bring the EX, don't you?
Well, Do you know, with a certain conversation that I've had with someone, and I'm not going to name drop them, and I'm not going to say certain things, but with a certain conversation, there could be a relatively good chance.
Don't,
And if it's a one
don't tease
percent
me.
chance, I'm holding on to that 1% with my bloody nails.
Honestly. Oh, no, it's just so good. And hopefully it becomes a RIAT regular. Whether or not it is, I doubt it. Maybe it's just one of those 1 year sort of RIAT things, but brilliant. I mean, I'm now going to move to the heavies, and where do I start? Uh,
The C-17 flying on the Friday with the parachutists.
yeah,
That's
with the
cool.
Falcons. I forgot that's even happening. That's we thought we were getting quite a good upgrade this year with having them jump out the back of the A400, but now we're getting them jump out the back of a C-17, and then the C-17's landing and joining the static display. It just doesn't stop, does it? It literally does not stop, and it is so many good things. We've
Uh,
obviously got the Qatari one, we've got the NATO one, we've got the Canadian one, we've got the US one.
They're hoping, aren't they, that the Qatari one is hoping to be the Qatar Airways liveried one, I think.
Yes,
That would be really cool.
I think it turned up in 2019. And it was parked next to the Ukrainian IL 70 something. I forgot what it is.
76.
Yeah, so it was parked next up to the IL 76 that year, which was very very cool. We've got what the Voyager. I can't. Can I? When was the last time we've had a Voyager on static? It's been a while, hasn't it?
2022. Is it
It's
22?
got to be a while. I'm gonna have a look. I
If
don't
not, it
know.
was if not, it was definitely 2019. Because I remember it being sat on static, and they pulled the drogues out, didn't they?
I'm trying to look now. I'm having a look. There
Something
was
something interesting as
yes,
well
yes.
that Matt
2019 was the
said
last
in
time we
the
had one.
last something interesting that Matt said in the last the last episode as well is we had the Sky Tanker theme, yet there's potentially more tankers this RIAT than there was for the Sky Tanker theme.
it it is a bit weird, isn't it? It's to be fair, though, last year they did well with the Sky Tanker theme. We got some really cool fly pass out of it, so I'm not really going to complain too much. It's nice to get some more heavies back on the ground and get to see some of them sort of up close.
I mean, we've also got all those. I say all of them. They've got the fly past. So they've announced the NATO one for the Friday. They also put out a little sentence, didn't they, which sort of said about look out for more unannounced ones throughout the weekend. So that'd be interesting to see what they've managed to sort of pull together from the pool of aircraft that are here to do different flypaths. They always end up having some really decent flypaths. They've had the Red Arrows with various different airliners and other operators and stuff. So it'd be interesting to see what they've managed to put together this year.
About to say, I put my money on the Red Arrows with something. That'd be my bet. Red Arrows with some form of other aircraft. Don't know which one, but something.
I think it could be interesting. I think it might be quite say boring with that many amount of Hawks, but it'd be interesting if they had the Red Arrows with the Saudi Hawks and the Midnight Hawks.
Do you know what? I think it's been mentioned in a previous podcast episode,
That
and
would be
I'd be down
20.
for that.
That would be 22 Hawks, 23 Hawks. I don't know how many Midnight Hawks they've got. They've got 4, haven't they?
4, yeah, so it'd
Or
be
So 20,
22.
22.
Yeah.
That would be impressive to see.
Well, it
could you
is
imagine?
also it's an anniversary of the Hawk this year.
Mm.
Don't forget that.
There's so many anniversaries.
we've got. Well, speaking of other anniversaries, we've got the Tornado anniversary, um, which we've got at minimum 2 from coming from Germany, but I think from the UK Show Review podcast, Peter Riot may have teased potentially 3. And also, rumours are having it that it may just not be 1 Italian tornado, it may be 2. So it may end up with 5 tornadoes on the ground.
I think
That'd be really nice.
Razor 2.0 will like that.
Yeah, well, even though he's been complaining to us that he wants flying ones and whatever.
Do you
It's
know
not going to happen.
I know we're talking. So I wouldn't class this as a heavy. I would probably say this is more like a business class sort of jet. But the is it the Piaggio P180, the Avanti?
Yes,
Yes.
I'm looking forward to seeing that because it's really different.
it is a weird aircraft, isn't it?
It's a
It's got to
flying.
be the
It's literally a
weirdest.
flying platypus.
It looks like a squid. That's what it
That
looks
looks
like,
like
a
a
squid.
platypus for me.
It's really noisy as well.
It
Oh,
is, yeah. It
nice.
makes a right racket. So there's just so much. I'm looking through the list now, and I'm like trying to pick things out as I go through, and I'm like, oh my god, that's coming. Like something like that's rare that would normally be like a big highlight. You know, the CH-53 Sikorsky from Germany. That's just
Oh, I forgot
buried.
about that.
That is buried under so much. That's normally like, you know, it's one of the massive, humongous helicopters, and everyone loves it and goes, oh my god, that's coming. But I don't. No one's talking about anything. It's just so. Well, we've got,
Should,
you know, helicopters, Canadian Griffin, Qatari NH-90. I mean, these are things that would be such massive highlights that are
see, I
just
wonder if
buried under so much stuff.
either of those two came over in the C-17 that went into Bryce Norton today.
I
Well,
think
I
it was
know
rumoured.
the
I don't know
Qatari
if it.
one hasn't it? I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
that
but yes, because it's flown, hasn't it?
yes. So the
Yeah,
Qatari one definitely has. We don't. I don't think we know about the Canadian one yet.
It was
But
heavily rumoured that it came from.
well, it came via, didn't it? It came via one of the Griffin bases.
Yeah, so
I assume
hasn't
so.
been seen yet, but fair to assume. Yeah.
But it's the fact as well, and this is again kudos to RIAT, or if it's the air arms doing this, kudos to the air arms. They're not just bringing the aircraft and unloading it at RIAT; they're unloading it somewhere else and then going to get it to fly in. Like massive kudos to the teams that are putting extra effort into the show and going right. We're going to fly our aircraft in because that's what it is. It's arrivals days. We're going to fly our aircraft in, something that you don't normally get to see airborne, which means departure day it will depart, arrivals it will arrive. So it's gonna be so good.
I mean, we've gone this far. I think we should mention them. The Jordanian Falcons.
We have gone this far in a podcast without mentioning the Jordanian Falcons. Will they be able to get airborne this year without being blown about into wind?
To be fair, they are quite good to watch, and they're a good, slightly slower paced act.
Yeah.
Which
Now that the blades are gone,
hmm,
they are sort of the substitute, aren't they now? I don't want to say substitute, that sounds bad, but it is
I
just so
think
different.
and they always bring
like
some nice stuff with them as well. They bring their Herc with them this year, haven't they? So
Which is apparently meant to be a grey one this year. It's turned up at.
yes, yeah.
Is it Boscombe Down, is it?
Boscombe Down it came to, yeah.
It's apparently one of their grey ones, which is obviously different to their desert colour, which again is different things, it's different regs and stuff, so. Go on, Jack, you had
like
something to
Matt
say.
says, it's a slower paced demo. So, for example, you know, you might. For me, I'm not too interested in taking photos of them, but it means in that space of time I can go around and I can look at some statics that I may not have seen yet. So while the flying may have slowed down, you're still quite fast paced on the ground, if that makes sense.
I think if we're talking about slow paced flying, um, something that again has been shadowed in the flying display from Norway, RIAT debut, the Yellow Sparrows.
Yes, yeah. Forgot they were coming.
there's,
There's a theme here.
there's a oh yeah, that's coming because everything is just on top and on top and on top and on top and on top. So it's just it is
Did did you guys remember that the French are sending a Mirage for static?
the first time we're gonna get a Dash 5000, I think, or the Dash 5,
2000
whatever it
Dash
is.
5.
Yeah, I think it's the first time we get a Dash 5, which in itself is a rarity. When do we ever get a Mirage on static? It just does not stop of going, oh, yes, that's coming. Oh, yes, that's coming. Oh, yeah, that's coming. Norwegian F-35s. Noggy F-35s.
Yes, another
With a
one.
Right,
little
Yeah.
parachute bump on the back.
is the the F4, is it their 50th birthday this year?
Nah, it's got to be older than that, therefore, surely.
Uh,
Quick
This
Google.
is a quick Google. Someone Google it. But the fact that we have 4 of them though, and well, the Greeks are turning up on the Friday, so technically, does it count? F4's technically kind of part of the sort of ish fly display on the Friday, arriving kind of. Can we count it? Can we tick it off? Can we? The Facebook commenters that it's not flying. Well, technically it is because it's flying in. So can
It's
we
not a
count that?
phantom. It's not a phantom anniversary. I don't think.
Is it
Ah,
not?
boring.
No.
Oh, it might be.
First, it's the first flight 1958. So
Oh, okay.
and introduced 1960.
Okay, then. So we're
Jeez,
not on the one.
that's not bad.
It's old,
It
yeah.
might,
Next
from
year.
what it might be that I was thinking was so a friend went to Greece to one of the big things, and I think it must have been the 50th birthday that the Hellenic Air Force had it because it raged low level. So it might be the 50th birthday for the Hellenic Air Force for
Yeah,
the F4, if
potentially
that
then.
makes
Hmm.
sense.
Yeah. Well, one thing that's been teased, and it's been on again on the UCAR forums by the air traffic control team, is they picked a very special aircraft for their what is it 500, 200, 100 this year.
Mapping.
Yes, and apparently they picked a special aircraft, whatever that may be. Um, I
I think I know.
it better be a Phantom, is all I'm saying. Because if it is, hell yes.
We I know we try not to talk about things because you know we can talk about rumors because rumors are rumors, but we will never if we know, let's say for example we know something that hasn't been confirmed or whatever, we won't talk about it. But how good? I mean, when that tornado in 2022 did the mapping down to
The
100
German
feet and it
one,
was
yeah,
wing swept, that was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Now, I couldn't think of many aircraft that could probably top that, but an F4, I think,
probably would, wouldn't it?
would
Yeah,
just about do it.
it would. An F4 probably would absolutely top. Um, I think he's probably. I honestly, with aircraft still flying today, I genuinely cannot put another aircraft above the Tornado other than the F4. I
Would it
genuinely think that is
15C.
literally the only thing. Oh, F-15C, shut up.
would it be wise to would it be wise to ask Solo Turk to do the calibration or?
No, can we not, please? Don't
I
get them
think
banned again.
I think there'll be 50 feet Mach 1.
Yeah, well, can we not, please? I'd like people to go home with some car windows.
But
And to see him on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, I'd see them on Saturday and Sunday.
something I want to
Um,
ask you, Dan,
go on,
because I know you love these so much.
go on.
How much are you looking forward to multiple Gripen displays?
Do you know what? They have kind of gone under the radar for me. And I know I do like the Gripen, but they have gone under the radar for me because we've got the Czechs, the Hungarians, and the Swedish. I thought we may have even got the Gripen E again, but I assume RIAT have probably gone to them. Can you just wait another year because we can't really have 4. Um, but no, it's gonna be good, and I hopefully get some cool fuel dumps as well. From the Hungarian one because we love fuel dumps.
I
I
do
do
like
love
the
a good fuel
Griffin.
dump.
The Griffin's really quite nice. So it does a really good, really good demo.
For me, it's when the Swedish do the really short takeoff. You know, where they
Mm.
sit in front of the Friat stand. By the time it gets to the viewing village, it's up in the air.
Yes.
That's cool for me when you see that sort of thing because it's like it shows you how adaptable it is and how it's been made literally to run off the short runways that it's used for in like Sweden and in other countries. So
I mean,
the short or the road
talking
ones, aren't they?
about those like short takeoffs, I'm intrigued to see how quickly the Qatari F-15s will get up. You know, see, I've heard some people say that when they departed Lakenheath the other day for Farnborough, the clean one was up within what seemed like a matter of seconds, as opposed to the more longer takeoff roll that we're used to with the F-15s at Lakenheath. So, you know, if they're up before Freat, would be, I think, rather impressive.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they keep it low though.
Yeah.
Please keep it low. Uh, don't be too high. We don't be taking photos into outer space. But I think is there anything else you guys want to talk about? Because I think we've covered so much. I'm just trying to think, have
Um,
I missed anything? Because
I'm
there
gonna
is so
quickly.
much.
I'm quickly scrolling through. So,
Yeah, I'm doing the
oh,
same.
something I want to was teased to us actually recently. It's not going to happen this year at RIAT, but did anyone else see the Army Air Corps with the Apache?
Oh yes,
Yes.
yeah, that's a good shout.
And
It was
actually,
the video was up and then it was gone and it was up and it was gone.
so I think the video got put up and then got taken down because they had to. I went and watched it again, and they'd blurred out some of the imagery on the. Is it the TADs? Is it like the night vision goggle
Yeah,
screen? I think in the initial one they left loads of like numbers and stuff around the outside of it, so they blurred it out. But weekend just gone was the Middle Wallop Families Day type Wings and Wheels event, and apparently after the public had gone home, there was a roll demo with two Apaches and Wildcat and ground forces, pyros and the lot blank firing.
right. Can we not like this?
So
Look, 2024 Azure season already isn't finished, Matt. Can we can we please not? Let's not get excited already for 2025 if that's going to be something that we're going to get. Because they did tease it with missiles firing. Now, I know they're not going to fire missiles at a thing, but look, hear me out. That would be cool. I don't know.
bit of a tangent, sorry.
It's a bit of a tangent, but no, it was probably a good tangent to talk about. I mean, there's been so much in the last week and a half that's sort of come through. And I'm sure when we have a RIAT review, when we get as many people on as possible that have been to the show to review what's gone on, we will talk about some of the things, hopefully some nice weather.
I'm checking just
Fingers crossed.
one thing as well because I think I saw it today on. Yes, as on my Instagram, I came across. I believe it was a video of what I think is the Spanish Harriers with some rather nice tail art.
Yes, they're coming with tail art, aren't they? Which we have, which they teased today. Was it on Instagram?
Yes, it was
Yeah.
the Cobra one.
Yes, because it had the eyes right at the front, didn't it?
Yes, yeah,
That was it.
and then
The
full colour tail.
one that again we've gone over is the Slovenian PC9.
A very
I'm
elegant
looking
display,
forward to that
yes.
flying.
It's a very elegant display. It always is. They fly it very much like a fighter performance, and they put the PC9 to its limits. Very good display. Very, very, very good display.
I'm quickly googling this. No,
You're
it's nothing
googling
special. It's
it.
nothing special.
So yeah. Unless anyone has anything, I think we've talked for 40 minutes about React stuff, which um, I'm sure we could have gone on for another 40 minutes, but it'd be nice to wrap that up. And I hope that if you've been listening to this while you are, you know, waiting to go to arrivals, you're at arrivals, you're packing your camera bags and everything. Make sure you've got everything. Make sure you've charged your batteries. Make sure you've got a portable charger. Make sure you've got your waterproofs because the good old British weather, it can do whatever the hell it wants, doesn't it? Make sure you've
I
got
think
everything packed. It's
I think what one thing that I want to say and voice to people, whether whether this is your first time ever going, or whether this is your 10th year in a row, just enjoy it. It
yes,
is it excuse the pun, but it flies by, literally flies by. We're talking about this now, and we don't want to think about in a week's time it's over, sort of thing. Like, get into the RIAT
yeah,
spirit, treat it like Christmas, and just enjoy it.
absolutely. And again, it doesn't matter what other people think, no matter what people want to complain about. If you think it's going to be a good show, it's going to be a good show to you, and that's the main thing. And what could possibly be, touch wood, a modern classic RIAT,
I think
I
one
think
one last thing from me,
100%.
if you can't get to arrivals or departures, Planes TV are going to be there, and they always do
Yes,
a very good coverage of end-to-end coverage of arrivals and departures, and lots of information in between. So I know I'll definitely be tuning in tomorrow and Thursday, and then on Monday as well, because
absolutely, yeah.
I can't get there.
Arrivals, departures, Plains TV, getting all that stuff covered. Um, I think they have a live stream set to go live at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning as of recording of this, which is on Tuesday. Um, absolutely. Please, everyone, enjoy the show. Just take it in and enjoy what hopefully is going to be one of the highlights of the air show season, and hopefully a highlight of RIATs to come. And honestly, make sure you go and see that F-16 line, because I don't think we'll ever see anything like that ever again, unless it's with F-35s. And before I upset Jack, I think that's where I'm going to end the podcast today. Thank you for everyone for listening and following us through this journey so far this air show season. I know it feels like it is an end, but it is not the end. We've got many things to come. We've got other air shows that I'm sure we're going to
Special guest.
review, talk about, special guests maybe. So we'll see what we have in offer and in store in the near future. If you want to have a look at any updates and stuff, we do keep posting them as best we can on social media. So that is either on the Instagram or on Facebook. Just search the Airshow Lounge and you can find all of our stuff on there. We post, and we'll post regularly when we're updating our podcast and everything like that. But from me, from everyone at the Airshow Lounge crew, enjoy your RIAT if you are going. Just take in the scenes of what is a modern classic RIAT. Bye, everyone.
That's it.
Bye bye.